Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wagers on Campus. Your home for weekly college football coverage. Shows dropping every week. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. We greatly appreciate the support. Thank you very much. And we are talking college football playoff. That's right. We are here, baby. We are talking Miami, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas Tech, Alabama, Indiana, Ole Miss, Georgia, as well as the remaining bowl games, at least this week, and the current events of the college football landscape. But please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're trying to grow that. So thank you very much for tuning in and checking us out. I'm Mayor, and I'm here with Xander.
Hello.
Hello, Xander. Ringing in the new year, huh?
Yeah, almost there. Be nice to end this wonderful season. Ohio State only having one loss in 2025. That would be lovely. And I think they might be able to do that. But we'll talk about that. And don't tell anyone on Twitter I said that.
Yeah, that might be a preview of what's to come here in just a couple of minutes. But before we dive into Miami versus Ohio State and maybe some of the Twitter comments that are going on, how was your Christmas?
It was good. Very busy always. Our Life is the Four Christmases movie with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn. Just bouncing from house to house.
Mm-hmm.
It's in country land, so every bounce is about a 30-minute drive. So outside of the travel, everything was good. I gave away 2 parlays for a white elephant gift to NFL, and it was the talk of the white elephant.
I love that gift. It's such a great gift. Did they hit?
Absolutely not. Didn't come anywhere close. It was a TD parlay for the Christmas games for the NFL. And yeah, George Pickens nowhere to be found. I had a feeling fucking Bill was going to get in. Didn't pick Bill. Picked Terry McLaurin instead, and he dropped an open touchdown pass. That was tough.
Yeah. And one of them was a Bears to win the Super Bowl ticket, right?
Oh, that is right. Yeah, not a parlay. That one's still alive. So Bears boosted 19-1, $10. It was like a $25 limit. So $10 pays $202.
Yeah, that's a really good gift. So we did white elephant within our family, and Gabby, my sister-in-law, had Ricky, my brother-in-law, and our dower limit was like $30.
Yeah.
And technically, Gabby did not break any rules, but she works for the Jacksonville Jaguars. She might know some people, etc. So Ricky opens his gift on Christmas morning, and what is it but a official Jacksonville Jaguars licensed team football signed by Josh Hines Allen. And
wow.
So yeah, she pulled a Michael Scott on everybody when it comes to the white elephant. She gave away the iPod. No big deal. So congratulations, Gabby. She won.
What an incredible gift. Uncle John pulled that same thing with Sydney. While mine was the most talked about, he goes, "Yeah, you'll like my white elephant. It's a full ass like $400 espresso machine because he ordered a coffee machine on Amazon, and they sent him this espresso machine. And when he reported it, they're just like, keep it, and we'll send since we." And so he doesn't want it, and so he just wrapped it. And literally every adult in there was fighting over the espresso machine, while you had things like a fucking couple candle set, a hydration box that was like Fairlife, Gatorade, and liquid IV bags.
It's what you get. It's what you get for playing by the rules. Your feelings get hurt.
Exactly. Always, yeah. It's not a Christmas unless some feelings are getting hurt.
100%. But yeah, everything was good over here. Anything you wanted to note about just kind of the football Christmas viewing experience?
Man, I don't know about you, but I was not pleased having to flip through all the different streaming services. I know this is getting beat like a drum, but it just feels less Christmassy when you have the capitalist slugs just draining you for every nickel and dime that you have in your wallet.
Yeah. I mean, 100%, dude. It's insane. I don't know how we've gotten to this point, but here we are. So,
I mean, they're steering me back to my college days. I'm about to get Stream East on the internet browser on the damn TV.
exactly. Hook it up to the HDMI or something like that.
Seriously. Just to shove it to the man.
Yeah.
Also wasn't a great experience not winning a bet all fucking day until the Nuggets game in the late win Nuggets Timberwolves, I think.
Yes. Game went to overtime, I think.
Yeah. I won a race 2 bet. Every other NFL bet I had was like losing by a leg.
Yeah, it sucks ass, man. It sucks. I tried to keep it light this Christmas because I always seem to regret it when I go heavy on a Thanksgiving or a Christmas because it just adds stress on a day that I really shouldn't be thinking about betting.
True.
So
I will say shout out to our viewers because we did promise it. A little Christmas gift under the tree right before you go to bed and Santa comes down the chimney. That Hawaii Cal over came on home.
Sure did. Hell of a game.
It was a good game. Thought it was going to be a blowout from the jump, 21-0 Cal. And then those flying Hawaiians just came storming back. It was a great game.
It was. And there was a couple fights at the end.
Oh,
so
yeah. That was ugly.
Really punctuated the Christmas spirit. Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it was good.
Couple more guys on the naughty list.
Yep, 100%.
Kyle Whittingham to University of Michigan. Breaking news. The longtime Utah Utes head football coach accepts the job at Michigan. Thoughts?
Seems rushed. I think it's a rushed situation for me. I still believe they should have just ripped Biff Poggi for 1 year and truly put a search underway. But in the new NIL era, I guess with all the money flying around, you don't have a true opportunity to just sit for 1 year because you're needing someone to recruit. It's like you need someone to commit to keeping Biff Poggi on the staff if the new person that's going to come in, if he's going to do the recruiting for a year. And so I understand why they didn't. But a guy that just retired, stepped away from football, which is clearly going to be a transition plan. This man is 66 years old, signed into a 5-year deal. I imagine the guy wants to have some retirement in his life if he just retired from Utah. So I don't know. I think it's a horizontal step, and I think Michigan shouldn't expect any sort of deep postseason runs anytime soon.
The way I feel about this is the same way I felt last week and the week before. It's like I don't think Michigan should rush into this hire. However, if they feel like they have the right guy, then by all means, bring him on. I mean, his programs at Utah have been, very solid. I don't know if it's going to work at Michigan, but do I think that he's an upgrade over Sharon Moore before all the Sharon Moore stuff even came out? I mean, yeah, absolutely, I do. So I don't know. I guess time will tell if he ends up being the right guy over these next couple of years, but he's got he's got a really good track record. So I don't know how a Michigan fan could be too disappointed with bringing him on.
Yeah. Yep. Support from Urban Meyer, obviously Urban Meyer coaching tree. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I know you're like an Ohio State fan, so you try to remove the bias, but sometimes you like to take shots, which is fine. But like, do you like Kyle Whittingham? Like, do you think he's a good coach?
Yeah, I do. But like, when you take a look at it from a grand scheme of things, it's like Utah is big enough to make a run and get the players. And, I know the whole Cam Rising thing the last 6 years, will they, won't they, like situation kind of tied their hands on having a true quarterback come in. But like he's always just good enough to get them to like a New Year's Day bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're never really they're always the team they're the ultimate preseason hype team. Everyone loves them as a long shot. And then they'll just drop one on the road to like Colorado State or like Oregon State. So I think he has where his weaknesses would be getting that full team together to be able to compete for a national championship.
I mean, he definitely would have made a couple playoffs had the playoff field been expanded to 12 teams.
Yeah, sure. But were they ever in contention for a national title? No.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely might be right. I can't confidently answer that. I didn't start really getting into college football until, last 5-6 years, like really getting into it.
Yeah.
How about Miami versus Ohio State? Because you're telling the viewers here that Miami Twitter is an insane asylum.
It's I just don't know if Twitter is just such a sinister place.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like that. Like my Twitter algorithm switched from, and Ohio State is never even playing Notre Dame. But like until we knew Ohio State's opponent, my timeline was filled with Notre Dame crybabies. And then like a drop of the hat, as soon as clock hit 0 for Miami Texas A&M, my algorithm has been nothing but Miami Twitter. Like it's insane how like eerie it is that it's only Miami Twitter. I'm sure other fan bases exist. I'm sure Georgia fans are like Ole Miss Twitter's garbage. I'm sure Texas Tech fans are like these Oregon people are just unpalatable. But it's not just Miami Twitter. They're running with all these talking heads. And you'd think it would come from someone not like Josh Pate, fan of his. And he is an SEC guy. Whether he wants to admit it or not, he focuses more on the SEC. This is the ACC Big Ten matchup. And he's trying to call foul that he was called out for saying Miami has better quarterback, better offensive line, better defensive line. It's like, I know Miami played, and I know Ohio State has been on a bye in their last game. They lost in a 13-10 low-scoring game. But it's like we forget Ohio State was number 1 the entire year, beat Texas first week. And like I'm just seeing everyone on Twitter, David Pollock, Josh Pate, Colin Cowherd, every talking head that wants to be able to spew shit is just writing off Ohio State like this is a James Madison playing Miami, and I just am so confused on where this is coming from. It's great for my bookmarks and the content I'll be able to create if Ohio State's able to win, but any idea why this is just seems so lopsided?
I mean, are these people picking Miami to win outright? Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I'm seriously. Like that game against Texas A&M last week was one of the ugliest games I've watched in a while. I know the teams kind of move the ball up and down the field, and the kickers are missing field goals and whatnot. But like, I don't know what you could say from seeing that Miami offense that would inspire confidence. And Ohio State, they've kind of earned the right to be respected until shown otherwise. I mean, Miami was kind of they're a good team this year, but they just. Are they as good as Ohio State? No. And until they prove it, until Miami goes out and like actually does it against like the Buckeyes, you can't just be picking them to to outright upset Ohio State. Like you said, Ohio State, they're the defending national champions. They're ranked number 1 all year. Shoot, they got to get that offense back up and going, though. You can't score 10 points. Well, I guess you could. They could win this game 10-7, honestly, but you'd like to see the Ohio State offense score a little bit more.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, the Twitter aspect of it, it's just, and if Ohio State wins, whoever they're playing next week, I have a prediction that my Twitter algorithm is going to be flooded with that opponent. So I'm probably going to hate Georgia or Ole Miss next week.
Yeah, it definitely will be. I mean, the cocky fans of any fan base are, I think they're fucking terrible and very annoying. But I guess that's just like part of being a fan. But if anyone's out there like actually seriously saying Miami is better than Ohio State, I would say you're on drugs until that's proven otherwise. But until then, Ohio State is clearly the favorite, and they're rightfully expected to win this game.
Yeah, largest favorite of the playoffs.
Exactly.
Of this week.
We'll get more into that game here in just a second, but we'll recap the betting bowl week. Xander, dude, you continue to be very, very rock solid. 7-3-1, up 3.3 units. You're positive on the year and bowl season. Yeah, you had a white hot stretch there with just ripping off winners.
Yeah, Georgia Tech didn't fucking fail us. We were set to have a really nice, and same with Missouri. I mean, one of the ugliest games you'll ever watch in college football. Score on their first drive and then just never sniff the end zone again. That was pathetic. And then I added LSU to the card late. I missed that game adding it to my card, so I was going to bet it no matter what. And yeah, I don't know. It was an entertaining game, to say the least. The LSU offense that was non-existent, all of a sudden they're in a shootout where two defenses are supposed to be the studs of the standouts of this Houston LSU matchup.
Yep.
It's been some entertaining games, I'd say. Did you see that San Diego State finish?
I just saw the final score. I didn't see the finish.
They're down 15 with 4 minutes to go. They score. As you can see, I have 6.5. They score, go for 2, try to cut it to 7, do not get it. They're down 9. They have 2 timeouts left. It's 4 minutes. North Texas goes 3 and out and gets stopped going for it on 4th down. San Diego State, the next play, throws an interception. It's about 2 minutes left, or about 3 minutes under. San Diego State gets the ball back with 1 timeout left. Down 9, mind you. Down 9. This is important. They drive down the field. They run the ball with 30 seconds to go. Get stopped at the 1. Hurry up to the line. QB sneak. Stopped at the 1. Clock is moving. Get the ball set with 4 seconds to go. Quarterback's able to snap it. Extends over the line like Stafford. Didn't mean a thing. Basically zeros on the clock. There's 2 seconds on the clock. Can't go for 3.
But it's a cover, baby.
And they cover. Unbelievable. Please go watch that finale. I showed Kurt that yesterday, and it's just preposterous that they're rushing to the line to get this touchdown.
Yeah. Sports betting be like that sometimes. That's why you never want to put the mortgage on one side, because you could be right and then shit like that can happen. Well,
especially bowl week. Should not be mortgaging bowl weeks.
No.
For that exact. I mean, boys wanted to end on a touchdown on the season. I mean, I don't think it's any more insidious than that.
And for myself, I guess I went 1-4. I mean, just continuing the theme of bad week after bad week. It has not been Alex Mayer's college football season. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't even remember my picks. I guess I went 1-4. Here we are. Utah State, Southern Miss, UNLV, Tulane, Yeah, I mean, I don't. Let's just move on. Fuck this. What else can I say?
Hawaii, that was a good win. That was technically your last bet. You're 1-0 in your last bets because that was Christmas Eve.
Hey, thanks, man.
So actually on a bit of a streak here.
Heyo.
Yeah. So and I've got my full card ready. I just gave out mine. I have the under looking pretty good for today. I like the over in Illinois, Tennessee, and I like USC tonight, even though a lot of the pro plays are on TCU.
Right on. I heard Illinois and Tennessee's best defensive player, respectively, is out in this game.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
I think so. Yeah. I'm on the over in that one for that's a 2-unit play.
Okay. And you like USC tonight?
I do. Single unit play. I really like Duke tomorrow against Arizona State.
You would think with Mensa. I'm assuming Mensa is playing.
Yes.
Well, Levitt is not.
Yeah, he's already in the transfer portal. Jordan Tyson opted out. Xavier Alford out. Yeah, they're a skeleton squad at ASU.
Exactly. The only positive is that they retain their coach, so he still wants to build
big time.
All right. Well, should we get into these college football playoff games?
Yes, we should, Alex.
Fantastic. So we kind of already touched on it. We'll get into it a little bit more. It is the Cotton Bowl from Dallas, Texas. Excuse me, Arlington, Texas. At AT&T Stadium, Jerry World, we got the Miami Hurricanes coming off their big win against Texas A&M, taking on Ohio State, the defending national champions. Looking at the numbers of this game from a point spread and a totals standpoint, just pulling up the updated numbers that I'm looking at, we have Miami is a 9.5-point underdog, and the over-under is 40.5. So this number continues to go down. I remember last week, Xander, you said Ohio State spread was like a mega lock for you, like a max nuke play.
Yes.
You still feel that way?
Yeah. I mean, I really do. I think Ohio State. I mean, we're talking when we break down this game. You have Bain and Mesidor on Miami's defense, and then where does it pick up from there? You have an average linebacking core. Obviously freak athletes on the secondary, but when it comes to safety play, that's secondary and safety, linebackers, and I would even argue the defensive line as a whole, all leans Ohio State. Like the two individuals on Miami are probably better, but there's 4 men on the line. And, Ohio State's going to be ready to have 6 or 7 guys rotating in the offensive line because there's been some guys banged up. So they're going to be prepared to see some different guys on that offensive line, I imagine. What we saw last year was that, and what we've talked about all season, with Ohio State being the slowest moving team outside of the academies and Rice, is that there's clearly a second game plan and a playoff game plan that Ohio State keeps because they expect to be here. And when you look at the athletes on the offensive side of the ball, we have a Carson Beck who has question marks everywhere. You have to take into consideration the weather because, as we've always talked about, wind affects totals because it affects the trajectory of the ball, whereas other weather you don't really look at as much as affecting the game. Precipitation, things like that, cold. So only throwing for 91 is concerning, but at the same time, it was pretty nasty conditions that they're not going to see this game. But you look back at other games that, they've lost, he's turned the ball over in all of those games. So when you look at what Ohio State's able to do, they're number one in EPA when passing, and then number one in success rate passing. And Miami hasn't seen anything like it. Who would be even comparable? No one. It was supposed to be Texas A&M, but again, weather hindered that, and everything had to stay on the ground. I think a key factor of this game might be third wide receiver of Ohio State, Brandon Inniss. It's going to be a guy that's like your Ibuka or Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Clearly vertical threats, but also just grown men that can get the ball wherever they want. But Inniss already scored last game against Indiana. Or no, that was 2 games ago. He scored against Michigan. Carnell Tate scored against Indiana. Neither the point. And then I expect freshman Bo Jackson to see a lot of east-west running and some success getting the ball outside. So I really see mismatches everywhere on physicality, on discipline, on preparedness, readiness, and just overall trusting of Ohio State's offense versus Carson Beck. I'm completely fine fading Carson Beck. And that's why I think they win by 14 or more.
For sure. Where do you think Ohio State's offense wants to attack Miami's defense? Like, do you think this is more of a running game for Ohio State? Do you feel like they are going to try to take advantage of their mismatches on the perimeter? Like, what are you hoping to see from Ohio State's offense tomorrow? Because I'll kind of caveat that with, the Indiana game, although it's one game, it raised a few concerns for me, and I'm just wondering if this number one EPA passing game truly is as good as that stat.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. And I also think that we need to take away some things from post game. There's clearly a whirlwind going on, and there was a lot of confusion. They'll probably put their hand up first, and they did. But with Hartline getting hired that week, and kind of a just questioning where the offensive play calling lies. Ryan Day taking over that play calling for the playoffs and just running. And now we have an established frame of who's calling the shots and not worrying about communicating back and forth with a guy that is now, head coach at another school, but sticking with the team throughout the playoffs. I think that's something that has worked out in the past and will work out for them now, eliminating that confusion. Indiana's also a really good team. I think they're better than Miami. I think they'd also be favored right in this number, right around 10 over Miami, same as Ohio State. So I just think both those teams are on a different level, and where they're going to eat, it really depends. If they want to play man, like every team decided to play man last year except for Texas, and you saw Ohio State is going to attack immediately. I think that the good thing about being Ohio State's offense is that you can sacrifice your back as a blocking mechanism, your back and tight end, when you have 3 receivers that are better than any other 3 receiver core in the entire country that can play against man. Inniss can play in the middle, and Tate and Smith can go get open with an extended blocking period, and they don't need that safety valve, maybe after a block comes off there, but they are going to be able to attack. If that's going to be Miami's plan of attack is bringing heat, I think Ohio State will make them pay. And if they're only going to sit there and rush 4, then I think they are in some serious trouble, because I think this Ohio State offensive line is underestimated. And I think the Big Ten has been underestimated as a whole. Of Ohio State's schedule is still number 5 strength of schedule where you look. Big Ten isn't just bringing in all these FCS and like G5 transfers to put rosters together. Like they still have NFL talent everywhere on defensive side of the ball and offensive line, all across the Big Ten. And I think those trenches are where people were a little thrown off last season, especially that Tennessee game. They got punched in the mouth right away. And it really feels eerily similar to that Tennessee game last year is what I'm seeing, is the lack of respect for the big guys in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and to that point, if Miami is going to pull off the upset and win outright, I think it probably starts with their front seven disrupting that Ohio State offensive line, making sure that the run game doesn't get going, getting to Julian Sayin a bit. And on the flip side of that, you're going to need a clean game from Carson Beck, and Miami's going to have to run the ball with Fletcher and run the ball well. He did have a couple of explosive runs against A&M, but Ohio State's defense is stronger than A&M. But I think that's the recipe. Maybe force a couple turnovers and win a low-scoring game, like 17-13 or something like that.
Yeah, and also you look in the bigger games, you look for a few intangibles. Miami's one of the most penalized teams in the country. 120th in penalties per game, where Ohio State's 13th in the country in penalties. Like I said just to kick off, Patricia has had this team more disciplined than I've ever seen truly any college team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Sonny Styles, we've played 13 games. He has 0 missed tackles. And I think he has 82 tackles on the season. I mean, that's stuff that when you're watching college football, if you're an NFL purist, that's what you take away is like, oh, these guys just don't wrap up. They play a little sloppier style of ball. It's this Ohio State team plays like an NFL coached team, and you can tell with how disciplined they are in keeping everything in front of them. And that's where I think Miami has not seen anything like that so far this season.
Yeah. As far as final score prediction goes, I think Miami struggles to break 14 points in this game. I think Ohio State will be able to pretty much control the game on defense. And then offense, they just kind of need to do what they've been doing all year long. Just stay efficient. You don't need to be this team that scores 55, but I'm going to say Ohio State wins this game 27-10.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a similar spread. I like 34-13 Ohio State. I think another key thing that they're going to want to do, and why I have it at 34, I think they're going to take a couple field goals, possibly early, in those potential go situations to get the confidence instilled in their kicker. Last time out, Shanks a 20-something yarder to lose the game to Indiana. We saw that a couple of years ago against Georgia on New Year's Eve. Granted, that one was like 54 yards, but also didn't have different kicker, but didn't have the confidence in the kicker. They just need to get that rolling too.
100%. Should we move on?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thursday, New Year's Day at 12 o'clock Eastern, we got Oregon taking on Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl, live from Miami, where Oregon is about a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 51.5. And both of these teams have had excellent years. I think Texas Tech has probably been a little bit stronger throughout the duration of the season. But Oregon might be getting hot just at the right time. They might be getting some key guys back just at the right time. I know you've been high on this Texas Tech team all year long. They've been one of your favorite teams ever since about week 4, week 5 of the season. Are you still going with the Red Raiders in this one?
Yeah, I do like Red Raiders to come out on top. I think this has potential to be the best game of the four. I also can't really get a read on that Ole Miss Georgia game, but I really like what this Texas Tech team has shown on the field, more importantly than anything else. I'm also just very confused by what we saw the last time Oregon was out. The game was never in question, but JMU did whatever they wanted. Like they were moving the ball. We talked about it on the last show, and it's truly like you have to go off what you see on the field, and you just wonder if these guys just were, maybe playing video games too late the night before, just didn't give a shit, expected to win. And like, so what? Now we're supposed to expect to take this game seriously, obviously, but like now you have to ramp it up and turn it on. It just feels like you should have been ramping up for any playoff game, and that's what questions me a little bit about the mentality. Traveling all the way across the country, I know it's a 10-day break. That seems like a pretty brutal draw. I mean, pretty much the furthest flight you can get, Eugene to Miami, seems pretty brutal. And then also, you and I both know we like the physical teams on the turf outside. And I know this isn't true, but it looks like it slows down where the guys, where Oregon's going to look to give you speed. Evan Stewart, when we talk about Oregon's players, still questionable to go. Like he, played a snap?
He's not playing.
He's not playing.
Yeah, he's not playing.
So I don't think it would have really made a difference anyway. I mean, you can't really rev it up and have that chemistry with your quarterback, right now in the playoffs. This isn't a video game. You can't just plug in that player that's a 92 overall and just get it off the snap. So, listen, again, I think it's good. I think it could go any way. It's not like I'm saying Texas Tech is going to run away with this, because I have some concerns on the quality of opponents on offense that they've faced. When you look at Texas Tech, they've shut down their best ranked opponent twice in pretty embarrassing fashion for BYU's offense.
Yeah, for sure.
But outside of that, your non-conference was Oregon State, Kent State, FCS. Your best opponent outside of that, Utah on the road with an injured Dampier.
11 a.m. game too.
Yeah, exactly. So, if we're going to beat down Miami a little bit for quality of opponents, we have to beat down Texas Tech as well. They have not seen the speed of Oregon, in my opinion, with anyone they've seen on that side of the ball. So I think their physicality needs to come out from the jump, or you're going to see pretty quickly that Oregon live bet is probably the play. So I like Texas Tech money line, but not my favorite player of the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'm picking Oregon, and the reason why I'm picking Oregon has a lot to do with obviously the talent on the field, but also a lot to do with just kind of the arc that this team has had, starting with last year. They played Ohio State twice, beat them in the regular season, and then come playoff time, wasn't Oregon the number one ranked team last year?
Yes, undefeated, only undefeated team.
Exactly. So they were the undefeated number one ranked team in the country a year ago, just to kind of put it in perspective. And played Ohio State, got steamrolled by Ohio State, and all of a sudden, season over. So This is a team, in my eyes, that has probably had a chip on their shoulder pretty much since the end of that Ohio State game. And, they worked their asses off. They got back into a position to make the playoff, despite this regular season maybe not being the smoothest or the sexiest. Like they grinded out quite a few games, whether it was the win against Iowa or their win against Wisconsin. or Penn State early on in the year. This team definitely isn't like a flawless football team, but I like their quarterback. I like the physicality that Oregon has. I actually think that they can match Texas Tech's physicality. I think Oregon has the dudes to do it. They have a really good run game, evidenced by their game against Iowa, where they ran for over 6 yards a carry in the rain in that game, ran for over 200 yards as a team. I just think Oregon has a big chip on their shoulder. I think they want to kind of right the wrongs of last year, and sometimes those little intangible things can be the difference. As opposed to a Texas Tech team who just hasn't been here. They just haven't been on this stage. Oregon has, Texas Tech hasn't. It doesn't mean Oregon's going to win automatically because of that, but I think it plays into this game, and Oregon ultimately ends up as the winner.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you called out something key there. It's going to be the biggest match. I mean, opponents' rush yards per game, per play, and per game. Texas Tech's number 2 in the country. So it's a little unstoppable force for some movable object, where Oregon's number 2 in the country in yards per rush. So playing styles for sure a little different here. This will be the heaviest rush team that Texas Tech has seen. They're 3rd in the country in rush play percentage that they see. Only 44%. So teams they're playing are looking to throw the ball against them, mostly because they're behind. And so we get to see really the physicality of these two teams, maybe out of their comfort zone, and what that will look like. So this will definitely be a live bet game for sure.
Absolutely. And, I think there's a number of ways that Texas Tech ends up coming out on top. But I think for me, what I am looking for would be Texas Tech's offense showing up in this game. Texas Tech's offense putting up 30 points, something like that. If I'm a Texas Tech fan, I do not want to see this offense like start slow and immediately put the pressure on my defense to be like that rock solid unit. I want to see the offense come out and make a statement, especially if I'm Texas Tech.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And what we've seen in the past, too, what we've had our biggest critical point in Texas Tech is not converting 3 into 7 in the red zone. And they're 70th in the country in red zone scoring percentage. So if they stall against a team as good as Oregon, I mean, you're going to come out with a winning ticket in Oregon money line. Like, they have to be able to punch it in when they get it down there. This cannot be a settle for field goals game.
Yep. Should be a great one. I truly mean that. Just a really good slate overall. As we move on to the second game on New Year's Day, it is indeed the Rose Bowl, 4 p.m. Eastern. We have the Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Indiana Hoosiers, the number 1 ranked Indiana Hoosiers, I should add. This spread kind of jumping around, but we're looking in the neighborhood of 6.5 to 7, where Indiana is favored. And the over-under in this one is 48. We have the Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza, taking center stage for Indiana against an Alabama team that maybe has found a new level of confidence after beating Oklahoma in the playoff. So I'll start with you, as I typically do. You're going Indiana, aren't you?
Yeah, it's my biggest play of the week. It's Indiana under 7.5, so we're going to go Indiana minus 6.5, 4-unit play for me. Listen, they should be getting Cooper back. Obviously knocked out of that Big Ten championship, so they should be good to go on offense. But when you look at the last time we saw Alabama, we saw a game where they were gifted everything on the road, and this is a team that's one-dimensional. So they did survive without running the ball again against Oklahoma, but at the same time, it's like Indiana is far more disciplined, far more balanced than that Oklahoma team, and they are going to be able to control this game on every facet. I am a little worried about missing starting defensive end for Indiana. That unit runs pretty solidly as a whole. So, gosh, sorry, I'm mistaking his name. My stat guy can pull that up on the injuries while I just finish this diatribe here. But when you look at everything EPA, like Indiana just dwarfs everything that Alabama can do. Alabama is 101st in the country EPA rush. Starting field position, they're almost dead last. So when it comes to defensive side of the ball, we've seen more impressive Alabama teams. I mean, that's just a fact. It's like they're average against the run. Hemby should be able to kind of get whatever he needs. And what you see with the eye test is like if Indiana was on that field last or whatever it was in Norman versus Alabama, if you subbed out everyone, I feel like Indiana would have won by 3 scores at least. And I just don't think that they can find any answers for a one-dimensional offense. And Ryan Williams being a ghost is crazy. Side note, when I was in Illinois, they already have all the touchdown odds posted because you can bet player props. And Ryan Williams is like plus 500 to score a touchdown, which is, if you look 365 days in the past, insane.
100%.
I mean, Jeremiah Smith's like minus 180. So just to compare the two best wide receivers from last season, and Ryan Williams is not hurt. So he has just gone complete milk carton status. So that's my high-level overview. I just think this is a complete mismatch, and Indiana should win pretty easily here. But hold on. I know you don't know this because I just saw it as well. There is a wrinkle. 100% chance of rain, 1 to 2 inches of rain during game time. So it's going to be sloppy.
Yeah, boy, geez, that doesn't help Alabama if is a one-dimensional team who can't run the ball. I don't really know what to say in this game. I don't fully believe and trust in Mendoza, despite him being a good quarterback. I don't fully trust him personally. Indiana has been excellent all year long. Daly is who's hurt on Indiana.
Thank you.
Alabama's defense has just been weirdly opportunistic over these last couple of weeks and maybe throughout the year. I know Georgia wasn't their best performance, but Alabama's offense didn't do them any favors either in that game. But take the Auburn game, for example. Auburn dropped like 7 passes, and Alabama was able to force basically come up with a couple turnovers. And same thing in the Oklahoma game. Obviously the pick 6. It's I kind of like equate it to some teams in the NFL too. I mean, sometimes your defense maybe isn't a dominant defense, but for whatever reason, you're getting some turnovers, and that's how Alabama's defense feels to me at the moment, where for whatever reason they're able to take the ball away a little bit. I don't know. I don't really have super strong logic for you, Burns. I just think Bama hangs around in this game. I guess I don't fully believe in Indiana. I guess that's what it comes down to, for right or for wrong. This is just my opinion.
No, that's fair. As we've mentioned before, in his biggest games of the season, Mendoza, Iowa, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Oregon, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Penn State, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Ohio State, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So, like, he's not putting the team on his back. And all those games are 1-score games, besides Oregon late. But, yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point there, kind of as a devil's advocate. I mean, that is true. Need to see Mendoza carry his team in a big game this season. And, I'm just more confident in Indiana's defense just not allowing anything to Alabama and Indiana taking advantage on positive field position, a turnover, and just kind of suffocating. I would lean the under in this game too. Final score for me would be like Indiana 27, Alabama maybe 0 or 7. But like I just don't, especially in bad weather. We'll see what the wind is like, but I just see a full dominance of a game.
So I guess we're not getting the old sunset at the Rose Bowl this year.
Hopefully. Maybe it'll be a rainbow just to really trigger you.
Maybe. Nice. The final game on Thursday night.
You have a final score for the Rose Bowl?
27-24, Alabama.
Oh, whoa. Not only a high-scoring game, an upset outright.
Someone's got to do it.
Do we skipped a final score for the Orange Bowl. Do you have a final score for Texas Tech or Oregon real quick?
Yeah, 31-21, Oregon.
31-21. Yeah, I'm going to go 23-20, Texas Tech.
Okay. Hell yeah. Final game on Thursday. It is the Sugar Bowl from New Orleans, and we got Ole Miss taking on Georgia, a classic, good old SEC showdown in the college football playoff quarterfinal. Well, we got Georgia as a 6.5-point favorite, and the over-under is 55.5. Mind you, these two teams played earlier this year. Georgia won that game 43-35, a total of 78 points. And now we're looking at a total of 55.5. What could go wrong taking the over in this spot? So this is an interesting game for many reasons. Part of me is like, look, I'm a big Chambliss fan for Ole Miss. I believe in their offense. And I think Georgia has kind of been a little fraudy throughout the year. They've been weird. They've been hard to pinpoint because I watched a game, Georgia against like Florida, for example, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst offense I've ever seen from like a top 5 team. And then they've had other games where they've looked a little bit better. And then another part of me, I'm looking at Georgia and I'm like Kirby Smart. I'm like, they're just a good, solid team who's improved throughout the year, and Georgia's going to take care of business, no problem. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, this is the one that did not make best bet portion for me. I'm very conflicted here. I see two equally matched teams. We saw a game in Athens, so that is a benefit for seeing Ole Miss be able to hang on the road that early in the season with the new quarterback. And they were up 9. They were up 9 with 4 minutes to go in the third. And before Georgia just ran in the fourth quarter and ran and hid. So score 17 unanswered. So I think this game is fairly matched. I always love the speed of the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. I'm just going to be a sucker and take the over because from what I've seen recently, I think people are going to fall in love with that Alabama-Georgia game last time we saw Georgia. But like I mentioned, this Alabama team, when you take the pass away, they just cannot run. And that's what they did. Georgia was able to not blitz, control the game with 4, and they just dominated from start to finish. So I think Ole Miss, obviously with Lacey at running back, Chambliss at quarterback, they're a much more balanced offense. And I expect a repeat, and I could see, because the one team I have not heard anyone talk about is Ole Miss. The one team of all 8 finals. I've heard every other scenario of upset besides Ole Miss. So what has Georgia done this season to get this invulnerability of just advancing to the semifinals untouched. That's what concerns me, and I could see this definitely being an upset.
Me too. I mean, they're just not as good as they've been in previous years when some of those national championship winning teams with like Stetson Bennett and some of those defenses that they had. They're just not. They're just not as dominant on either side of the ball. Gunnar Stockton is a fine college quarterback. He's not transcendent. And the defense is good. I mean, they gave up 7 against Alabama. They gave up 9 against Georgia Tech. They gave up 10 against Texas. But we also have to be real and just like kind of keep in mind, like, I don't know, man. Some of it is like the opponent. Some of it is just the time that they played them. Georgia's a good team. Georgia's a really good team. Do I think they're a great team? I don't. Do I think they're capable of winning a natty? I actually don't. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ole Miss beat them.
Yeah. I just don't see how, if we are going Ole Miss, like I just don't see how this is a like low scoring game.
I agree.
Like their defense, it's a full flapjack stack of ass pancakes. Ass cakes, dude. It's not good. So yeah, I expect the full red carpet rolled out for all the trick plays and everything. And it's always good seeing a common opponent. Tough to beat a team twice in college football. Give me Ole Miss 38, Georgia 35. Field goal wins it.
Be a hell of a game. I'm similar to you. I'm going to go 34-30 Georgia. Pull it out at the end.
Okay. Which is usually not recommended.
Depends on your objective.
Always finish, brother. Always.
ABC, always be closing.
That's right. Yeah, it should be good. I'd have to pull up a gambling tab to see what that parlay would be, and I'll do that at the end of the show. But we've got one more week of bowls. Bowl season's over this week.
Yeah, it's always a little sad. This year in bowl season has been a good one. I've really enjoyed just having games on, and honestly, we've had, like I mentioned, we've had some really good games. So one of the better bowl seasons I can remember up to this point. But you want to start with tomorrow's games?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm just brain farting on how to share my screen. There we go.
All right, cool. So we will start with the ReliaQuest Bowl, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida. This is on Wednesday, December 31st at noon. We got Iowa taking on Vanderbilt, a game that is close to the heart to this podcast. Vanderbilt is a 4.5-point favorite, over under 46.5. Do you think Vanderbilt covers this big number against Iowa of 4.5?
Yeah, we've always talked about how we like Pavia as a dog and have some trepidation towards him as a favorite. That's really what it comes down to is like, but Clark Lee is going to have this team ready to go. He only wants guys playing that want to play. And it seems like everyone wants to play for Clark Lee. And unfortunately for Iowa, although this is a very common, I'm sure this has been like the Outback Bowl. This has been like Iowa and Florida in December is like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, you can just mark it down as a like just go to like write home to mom about. Nothing fancy, nothing flashy. You know it's gonna happen.
It's just a matter of is the game going to be in Orlando or Tampa?
Yeah, seriously, pretty much. Yeah. So, with that being said, I just think that everything Vanderbilt has done to end the season on a win, I think that they win by a touchdown or more. And looking at like what we've seen is obviously statistics off the chart from the offense, but the defense has shown a good amount of life. They're in top in the country in like containing explosiveness, pass rush, and overall. Same with opportunity percentage, rush plays allowed per play. And if Iowa's getting stopped with the run game, this is like anti-Alabama. They have a little bit better of a passing game than they have in past years, but they are going to want to run the ball. And I think Vanderbilt's going to be able to control that to a sense where Iowa's going to be trailing and having to throw the ball. That's exactly the game plan Vanderbilt wants. So I like Vandy, even though the Sharps are on Iowa.
Love it. I don't really have any thoughts in this game other than I'm just happy to see Pavia playing. I think that's fun.
Yeah. As long as he's not just shithouse down in the Tampa Hooters, the original Hooters.
Which is possible.
True. Very possible.
Very possible. Things are getting a little loose tonight.
Tuesday night wing special, dude. It's trivia at Hooters in Tampa.
No wonder why the Sharps are on Iowa.
Seriously. They know where the trivia is. Trivia and karaoke in the same bar. The Pavias are just let's keep an eye on that police scanner. See if there's any drunken disorderlies tonight.
Right. Iowa's playing Yahtzee in their hotel rooms.
Playing Trivial Pursuit around the table. All right, curfew's at 8:30, guys.
100%.
8:30 might be a stretch.
Exactly.
Noon kick.
Sun Bowl Stadium, Tony the Tiger's Sun Bowl, 2 p.m. Eastern. Arizona State against Duke. Mensa is playing for Duke. Sam Leavitt is not for Arizona State. Those are the quarterbacks. And Duke is a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 48.5. I thought the same thing you did when I first saw this line. I said, I think I like Duke. If Mensa is returning to the program, which he is, he's going to play. And I just like Duke to continue that momentum of winning in the ACC championship game. And also, Mensa was just one of the best quarterbacks in college football this year. So if you're giving me one of the top quarterbacks in the game who's playing in a bowl game against a team that's missing their star quarterback, I don't know. The math is pretty simple to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, his stat line is pretty gaudy. 30 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, 3,600 yards. All of that led the ACC. That's no matter what you cut it at, Power 4 numbers, those are great. And I just think Arizona State is looking so many new faces. Jeff Sims is starting a quarterback.
Oh.
I know we've been off the train a little bit because he has shown a little bit of growth this year where he was not an automatic fade. But he's an automatic fade in this position. That's all you need to know.
All right. Moving on to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl from Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. We got Michigan taking on Texas, where we have Texas as about a 7-point favorite, and the over-under is 48.5. I'm assuming you're all over Texas in this game.
Yeah, and it's gotten bought down to 7. We love that. I mean, Jayshon Bartham, Derek Moore not playing for Michigan. Apparently Bryce Underwood's going to play. You can expect a few more opt-outs. When we look at Texas's opt-outs, Wisner hit the transfer portal, which, by the way, look at potential Scarlet on Wisner next year. Okay. Scarlet and gray. Michael Taff, tough. Starting safety, NFL first-round pick. Malik Muhammad. The only good thing about their secondary opting out here is that Michigan can't throw the ball. So we just need guys on the line. But Anthony Hill, stud, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, if they had that award. but like AP All-American. He's opted out. So maybe the over's the play here more than Texas, because there's just a lot of big names opting out on the defensive side, whereas offensive side looks like should be pretty good to go. Arch getting a chance to beat Michigan after opening with Ohio State. Does he do it? We'll see.
I like your over angle. I like that. I think Underwood has a big game, and I think Arch does pretty well himself.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, when you break down like the actual EPAs, it's like, what can you take away from that if all of that like progress and strength in your team statistics came from all these guys that are sitting out? So you kind of have to like throw that out the window when you're evaluating the teams and just let it fly. I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
Cheese.
Over.
Love it. All right. SRS Distribution Bowl, Las Vegas. I'm sorry. This is the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl.
Thank you.
Apologies. This is Nebraska versus Utah, where we see Utah laying 14.5 points without their former head coach. The over-under is 51.5. It seems like a large number for a team that just lost their head coach of 20 years.
Yeah, for sure. But Nebraska's going through it. Obviously, a lot of injuries to end the season. Let's see. Opt-outs. Emmett Johnson, starting running back.
He's good.
Yeah, he is good. That's about it. Now, when we look at Utah, Spencer Fano and his brother Logan Fano, both opting out. That's tough in the trenches. Dan Pierce said he's going to play. Lander Barton said he'll play. Theo Johnson said he'll play. Those are all good signs. So, but this game, I was going to say, like, there's no need to put bowls in NFL stadiums, but these are two fan bases that are going to travel. There's going to be obviously a lot of red, only red. But, like, excuse to get to Vegas, maybe see your team pull. I mean, I just don't see how Utah is 14 points better than, the defense that Nebraska's kind of put together. I don't know. I know their offense is completely non-existent, but we're talking one game with a month of prep. Give me the points for Nebraska.
Yeah, I'd lean that way as well. Especially, dude, when you look at the total of 51.5, they're not implying that this is going to be some low-scoring 27-3 type game.
Yeah.
So give me the points.
Yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
Don't let us down, Nebraska.
Seriously.
Don't
We don't need another reason to hate you.
Well, not me. I don't hate you guys at all.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not.
Thank you.
Okay, scroll past those. Talked about those. Boom.
Friday, January 2nd. Everyone's returning to work. Whoop-de-doo. But it's only one day. It's the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas, where we got a battle of the Texases. Rice versus Texas State. Texas State is laying 14.5. The over-under is 57.5. Who do you like in this one?
At the Amon-Ra St. Brown Carter Stadium. No. Just give me the over. Don't have to dive into this game. I know Rice slow, but yeah, this game's going to get wonky like that UTSA game.
Okay. All right, bet. January 2nd, Friday, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl from Memphis, Tennessee. Liberty Bibberty. We got Navy taking on Cincinnati. Navy is a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under is 54.5. Little surprised to see Navy as a 6.5-point favorite in this one, but obviously Brennan Sorsby, Cincinnati starting quarterback, not playing in this one, so that's probably a big contributor to the line.
Yes.
Knowing you, I'm going to say that you're on Navy.
Not on a side here.
So you are on the over.
I'm on the under here.
Fuck.
I'm on the under. Cincinnati without Sorsby and the players that they're missing from the transfer portal, just not a team that's going to compete, especially against a physical, slow-moving, methodical Navy team. I would lean Navy, but I am on the under 54.5, say 27-3 final.
Copy that.
28-3.
28-3. One team or the other.
No, Navy.
If you're saying 28-3, I think you should be laying the points with Navy.
I just trust the under more. Maybe Cincinnati can put up 21. We're at 49.
21. All right. Trust and will. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, nothing.
Can you do something for me?
Yes.
This is the Trust and Will Holiday Bowl. Snapdragon Stadium, San Diego, California. We have Arizona, who had a quietly nice season, taking on SMU, who also had a quietly nice season. Pretty good game. Arizona laying 2.5 points. Over-under is 52.5. What do you like?
I like the Wildcats to cap off like a pretty surprising season here. Get to 10 wins. Be like the Iowa State of this season. Look back next year when we're doing the previews, and it's like, oh, Arizona had 10 wins? What the hell?
Right.
Pretty much no opt-outs. Not really any transfer issues there. Kevin Jennings going to play for SMU. This should be two full rosters ready to go. This should be a pretty good game for you on the second, especially at night. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this will be Arizona's 11th Big 12 game, because they played Kansas State that was not a Big 12 game. And so they're just getting touching all the Big 12 this season.
Wait, no, I mean SMU, they're in the ACC.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They are. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. The Atlantic Coast Conference versus the middle of the fucking country conference in the Big 12.
Except Arizona's not really in the middle of the country.
The conference is. The conference,
I know.
Alex.
I know. I understand.
Okay. Before that fucking outburst by you. Doesn't change a thing. Arizona minus 2.5.
So we get to see Fafita versus Jennings in this one?
Yes.
It's a nice matchup.
Yeah. I'd lean over as well. Could get a little spark, but we have talked about Arizona's trouble to get the ball into the end zone through the air, shockingly. It's kind of picked up towards the end of the season, but for a minute there, just very shocking how they were winning games.
How about Tet McMillan? He's had a nice start to his NFL career.
He sure has. Should be Rookie of the Year. 3 wins shouldn't win you a full season award.
You don't think Tyler Shook is deserving?
No.
Yeah, he hasn't played enough games.
Nice season. Move on, buddy.
Maybe if he had started the year.
I agree.
And the final game here on Friday is the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina. We got Wake Forest keeping it close, taking on Mississippi State. Wake Forest is a 3.5-point dog. The over-under is 53.5. We're going Wake Forest, aren't we?
No, Mississippi State, big time. Wake Forest, best player on defense in the transfer portal, DT Mateen. Let's see. Losing a mid-wide receiver, potentially losing starting running back to an opt-out. Mississippi State will have everyone going. The way that Jeff Levy has this team, similar to like a Clark Lee, just has the guys ready to go, and every time they take the field. We like the progress that Mississippi State has made this season, and I think this caps off just momentum into the next offseason and a potential disruptor in next SEC calendar year.
Yep. Bonus game.
Yeah,
FCS Championship coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee
that's right.
on Monday, January 5th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If you're looking for something to watch, this is interesting. We got Illinois State taking on Montana State. Montana State is a pretty big favorite, 10.5. The over-under is 56.5. Are you going to be attending this game, and do you have a play?
Potentially, Sydney's Uncle John, who mentioned earlier, espresso guy. He attended Illinois State and is a Redbird alum. He should be coming down for the game.
Oh, sweet.
So it is going to be balmy, but still like a high 40s, low 50s, nothing crazy. Should be decent weather. You don't make a run in the playoffs. FCS may be different, but just normally to just get steamrolled. Give me the birds with the points.
Yeah.
Redbirds, baby.
Let's go. Yeah, they got a big win against Villanova last week. Montana State, huge win against their arch rival, Montana. First time ever that they've played in the playoffs. That atmosphere had to have been absolutely electric. I would love to see a Montana State game in my life.
I agree. Shout out to the Midwest, though, as well. Indiana, number 1 seed. Illinois State making the FCS championship. And how about North Central? D3. Wait, yeah, D3, right?
Mm-hmm.
D3 national championship game.
Love that.
We salute another Illinois team.
We see you and we salute you.
Also, Ohio State is in the Midwest defending national champions and poised to make a run at a repeat.
I was wondering if you would consider them as a Midwest team, or if they're more like, I don't even know, Middle East. Like, what do you even call it?
I grew up in the Middle East.
I did not realize what I did there.
My opinion is Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin is the Midwest.
Yeah.
I think those 5 states, maybe Iowa, but they're more of a Great Plains state.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty standard. Because the far east of, we're talking far east now as well. The Asian side of Pennsylvania, it's just too far east, too East Coast.
Yes.
Pennsylvania cannot be a full Midwest state.
Hell no. Get out of here with Pennsylvania being a Midwest state, if anyone.
I mean, those Pittsburghers, those are Midwesterners. But the Philadelphia people are not.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh, their character is Midwest, but they're still. Sorry, they're on the other side. They're on the other side of the line.
They're still Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern, yes.
I love that. All right, just a recap here for the boy. He's already got his card ready to go. Already on the under. Looks like a check. USC tonight. Texas -7. I'm going to add the over to my card. Mississippi, Georgia over. Duke. We like Nebraska points. We like Cincinnati Navy under. Rice, Texas State over. Mississippi State -3. Arizona -2.5. And then we like Ohio State team total overs +100. I like that at 2-unit play. I like Indiana as my favorite play of the week, -6.5. I like Texas Tech money line at 2 units. And I like Illinois right now with Tennessee as we're about to kick off in 20+ minutes here at over 61.5. And so by the time you're listening to this, you'll probably see a final score of 10-7 Tennessee.
No doubt. For me, on the pod, I mean, I like Ohio State minus the points. Saw this number actually got down as low as 7.5 at one point. Did you see that?
No, what book was that?
It was maybe a week ago on Hard Rock. It was 7.5.
About a week ago.
Yeah. I'm still going to take Ohio State to cover. I'm going to take Oregon minus the 2.5 against Texas Tech. And I'm going to go ahead and take the over in Ole Miss versus Georgia, 55.5. So those are my 3 plays for the time being.
I mean, you might as well play the fourth college football playoff game.
Fine. Alabama
Plus
7.
6.5.
Plus 7.
Plus 7. Interesting. My biggest play of the season. And you just said, fuck you.
That doesn't make me feel good because you're a very good college football bettor. There's not a ton of things that you're good at in this life, but college football betting is one of them. So that does concern me.
Yeah, we won't force that one. I'll let you simmer on that one before you give me a play because that's Thursday game.
Okay.
Bonus, do you have a Super Bowl team that you'd like to give out to everyone?
Honestly, everyone's guess is as good as mine. The NFL is so wide open this year. At least that's what it feels like to me. But I'm still going to go with the Rams. I think this is a team that has all the talent in the world. They had a bad game against the Falcons. They were missing 2 starting offensive linemen and Devontae Adams. I think the Rams find their footing in the playoff. I think they can run the ball well. Obviously, they can throw it well. Defensively, they certainly have their holes, but they have a good pass rush. They have some decent players in the secondary. Gotta love Sean McVay as a coach. I think the Rams find a way, and all in all, I got the Rams winning the Super Bowl. I'm still believing.
I mean, as long as they don't run into the NFC South team. 6 interceptions the last 2 NFC South games for Stafford. Panthers and Falcons and they lost as big favorites in both games outright.
Wow.
So as long as they don't run into the Bucks or Panthers, whoever wins that game, they should be good.
Yeah.
Just an Achilles heel. I like the 49ers. I like them to win at home.
Man, their offense is so fun right now.
Brock Purdy just looks so locked in. It's insane. Just looks like one of those, like there's fire underneath them and they're so hot at the right time. Maybe no one can stop them. Their defense has taken a step back from the normal San Francisco type smothering defense. They're actually second behind the Cowboys as most overs on the season. Surprisingly,
they don't have NFL players on their defense.
Seriously,
when everyone gets hurt, this is what happens.
Got rookies from Western Kentucky as your best secondary player.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. The Niners are hotter than fish grease on offense, and George Kittle. I mean, he didn't even play against the Bears.
Congress. And then lastly, New Year's Eve plans. What do you got?
Not much, man. Going to infrared sauna and red light therapy tomorrow afternoon. Gonna grab some quick dinner afterwards and strap in and watch the Ohio State Miami game. Don't know why I said strap in, but we're gonna be watching Ohio State Miami. Very chill, and that's it.
Yeah, that's good. Not repeating last year where we're stuck at a 4-hour dinner. One of the worst services we've ever experienced. So
yes, oh my God, yes.
Won't flame that Nashville restaurant, but be better at New Year's Eve. Good God. This fucking risotto order takes 3 hours.
Yeah.
Source the thing from Italy on private jet.
No shit.
Anyway, back to basics, just at the house. PJs. And watch Ohio State win comfortably, knock on wood, and finish 2025 as with one loss the entire year, and I believe 18 wins.
Hell yeah. That sounds great. Bonus pick, NFL Saturday. You like the Panthers or the Bucks to win the NFC South?
Panthers.
And do you like the Seahawks or the 49ers for the 1 seed?
Niners. My future rides on them just being at home the entire playoff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it, man.
Love it.
Everyone,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. If you made it this far, we really appreciate you. Thanks for checking us out. Hope you enjoy the college football playoffs. Let's freaking go. And we'll see you next time.
Love you.